For quite some time, Sony has been on a mission to basically adapt some of their most popular and iconic franchises into live action. And we've seen some really great examples, such as HBO's The Last of Us live action series, which the second season's coming out very soon. There was a few stinkers, such as the Ratchet and Clank animated film, as well as the Uncharted film. Did not like that one. And they're still ongoing. There was supposed to even, I believe, a Horizon Zero Dawn live-action series with Netflix, but it got canceled due to some controversy with the showrunner, which I will not talk about here. But the one that everyone's kind of been waiting for, and is going to be a real testament to how it's going to be executed, how well it's going to be executed. Amazon's partnership with Sony to adapt the God of War franchise. This is going to be big. I mean, there's so much expectations behind this. So much so that I know they need to do this right, and they need to execute on it at such a perfect level, or else it's going to be a huge disappointment for fans. You don't understand. The fan base for God of War is extremely passionate. And so much so that Amazon is so confident that they just announced, and this kind of shocked me, Amazon's God of War TV series hasn't even dropped its first episode yet, and they're already giving it a 2-season order. Yep, that is pretty shocking. It's very rare to see a show before it even comes out on streaming to have 2 seasons announced before it even premieres, because usually how the streaming system works is you put out that first season, you wait until you get the viewership, and that kind of determines whether it's worth continuing the series, and you have to wait like 2 to 3 years until they make the next season. But by then people kind of lose interest. It depends how popular or how relevant the show stays with every consecutive season. And Netflix is notorious for this. And to hear that 2 seasons for God of War, seems that Amazon is extremely confident about the adaptation of this series. The showrunner Ronald D. Moore, who you might recognize from Battlestar Galactica, is leading the charge on this one, taking over after some of the original team left. He's not exactly a hardcore gamer, but he's bringing that TV showrunner expertise to the table. They've got also Cory Barlog, the director from the 2018 God of War game, involved as an executive producer as well, which is a big deal for fans and perhaps some hope that that the adaptation could stay in the right path. The series is expected to be based on that particular game, which reimagines Kratos' story with a deeper, more emotional narrative. And there's always been speculation and discussion on where are they really going to start the story? Are they going to start it from the very first game that came out, I believe, in 2004, God of War 1? Or are they going straight to God of War 2018 and kind of just doing tons of flashbacks and just exposition to build up to that moment? It's still really uncertain how they're going to pull this off. Now, Amazon's decision to already greenlight Season 2 before Season 1 has even aired might sound a bit crazy, but in a way, it's a strategic play. They're putting a lot of faith on the God of War brand, which is massive in the gaming world. If the show even comes close to living up to the game's epic storytelling and visuals, they know it's going to be a hit. And so, my question is, okay, if you're already announcing 2 seasons, is the production of this show going to be back to back, where by the time Season 1 wraps up and it's premiered, we only have to wait a year until the second season comes out, or do we have to wait 2 years? Because that's usually how it is now. Like, for example, House of the Dragon and so on. And so Amazon's track record with video game adaptations so far have been exceptional. We're looking at the Fallout series. People really like that, and the reception for it was pretty positive. Secret Level was a surprise hit. I'd say it was a hit or miss, depending on which episode you're watching. Some of them, like the Warhammer 40K episode, that was amazing. Honor of Kings, amazing. Pac-Man, amazing. There was one for Concord, not all that great. So I think maybe when another season comes out for Secret Level, I think it's going to be an absolute banger. So it's been solid so far in terms of Amazon's track record, and we're hoping for similar success for the God of War adaptation. In short, Amazon's getting big on God of War, and it clearly wants to make sure the creative team has all the time and resources they need to deliver something epic. It's a high-risk, high-reward kind of move, but considering how they've backed other video game projects, it's probably not a shocker that they feel confident enough to commit 2 seasons up front, but let's just hope that Season 1 lives up to the hype. Now, we're talking about Amazon's track record when it comes to fantasy adaptations, like Tolkien's Rings of Power, disappointing, Wheels of Time. It's exceptional. I wouldn't say it's the best adaptation of that franchise, because I've seen the mixed reception for that show as well. But let's hope that bad side of Amazon doesn't seep into the video game adaptations such as God of War. Are you excited? Are you a huge fan of the franchise? Do you feel like it even warrants to have a live action adaptation? In my opinion, not really. As a pure gamer, you know, I find a lot of these video game adaptations to be unnecessary. I mean, because a lot of it is already something you experience in the game, and God of War is extremely cinematic anyway. The only reason I see for this is for Sony and Amazon to create a greater and broader appeal to the brand that is God of War and other, you know, Sony affiliated brands as well. And so it just means they want to be able to make it more, they want to create a greater outreach to the casual audience who don't play games, who might enjoy the stories of franchises like God of War, but may have never played the game before. And that's kind of the idea, I understand. But most video game adaptations do feel unnecessary. And so I am wondering if this adaptation will feel necessary or not to begin with. Well, we'll wait until that first season comes out on Amazon. I'll be sure to do a fully fledged review here on the show on the Evening Buzz. Do share your thoughts and opinion. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with more news and highlights from the world of entertainment right here on Pulse 95.